Today, I will introduce two ways of making a Power BI funnel charts according to how the data look like. I will walk with you from uploading data to finalizing the charts. I have also attached the Excel dataset in below description. Feel free to grab the template and practice on your own. For today's scenario, imagine you work in a bank and your bank is launching a new credit card. Now you wanted to analyze how many customers order a card, how many issue a card, to finally how many customers use a card. You wanted to know at which stage you lose the most customers, and then adjust the strategy according to the numbers. For example, if you lost the most at the activation stage, is it because that the activation process for customers is too complicated? Okay, enough with the business background. Let's upload Excel first, and I will introduce the two scenarios. To upload the Excel, we go to Transform Data, New Source, Excel Workbook. Choose the Excel file. Choose both of them. And check a little bit if the table is correct. This is the second table, it looks okay. And for the first table, the column header should be customer ID and stage, and it's not classified correctly. So I will click on this Use First Row as Headers. Okay, now they are looking great. Close and apply. For the first method, let's take a look at the data behind. We have all the customers with their stages. If a customer has ordered and issued a card, it will appear in here with the stage ordered and issued, meaning a customer may appear more than once in here. This is based on what stages he or she had been through. To create a funnel chart, are categories and values. Category is the every stage of the funnel, like in our case, from order a card to issue a card to activate a card and to finally use a card. The value of the matrix is what we wanted to measure. In our case, we wanted to measure how many customers are at each stage and how many customers are still staying with us from ordering a card to literally using a card. So we drag the stage in here and we drag the customer ID in here, and I want it to count the distinct value. For the second method, every customer in here is unique and they are given tags. Like if one has been through any stages, they will have a Y under these tags. Meaning if there are 150 Y under is ordered, then there are 150 customers ordering a card. If there are 130 Y under these columns, then 130 of 115 issued a card. To create a funnel chart, since we don't have any stages for this table, instead we have the count of every stages. We should add values here. From ordering a card, to issue a card, to activate a card, to use a card. What's more, I wanted to add another layer to show how many customers used more than a threshold. I will create a measure to calculate the account of customers that have used card with more than 3,000. Customers used more than 3,000. Calculate count distinct customer ID, used amount, and add to the end of the values here, Okay, now we've got a number of 46. To make sure it's correct, let's double check in the data set. We go to the second table here. For this used amount, I will filter it. Greater than or equal to 3,000. Okay, now click on the customer ID here. If we check here, there are 46 filtered distinct values, which means this number is correct. Format it a little bit. Firstly, I wanted to change the title. Customer performance by stages. Customer count through stages. Second thing I want to change is the color. I want to make it more gradient to let people know that these stages are related, not separate target. We go to format your visuals, we go to colors, show all. And from the first stage, I want it to be dark blue and lighter and lighter. Next, I'm going to format data labels. Now it is showing absolute numbers. I also want you to know the conversion rate. Let's go to format your visuals, data labels. Label contents, I want it to show the data value and the percent of the first, meaning the number of these compares to this number, and the percent of previous, meaning the number of these compared to the number of these. I think the percent of first is good. Next, go to the conversion rate label. I want to make it bold to emphasize what's the total conversion rate. Last but not least, I also want the conversion rate labels to change based on the function. For example, if it's higher than 17% showing in green, otherwise showing in red. But please be noted that it will based on a field and we don't have a field showing the conversion rate. So I will have to create a measure first. Create a new measure. The conversion rate is basically the number of these divided by the number of these. Conversion rate from ordered to used. Count customer ID. Stage equals to used. Divide by customer ID, stage equals to ordered. Now we have created it, and let's check if the number is correct. We create a card or a table, whatever you need, and we drag the conversion here, and it shows 72% equal to this number, meaning this number is correct. Then we click on the visual, we go to format your visuals, go to conversion rate labels, and click on the function here. Base the rules on the conversion rate. And let's set the threshold to be 70% first, larger than or equal to 70%, less than 1, and I want to make it gray. Maybe this number, correct, and add a new rule. And less than 70%, then I'm going to make it red. Let's take a look. It looks in green right now. And let's test another value. I want to make the threshold 80% and make it 18%. And now it shows in red. Okay, so it works. Another tip I want to mention is that data is only used when it best presents your business. With this being said, we have to bear in mind that the format, the color, although they are trivial, they are constantly reminding end users the business. For example, I have made a funnel chart in gradient blue right now. Another way to format it to present business would be to make the last category in green. The reason why I'm doing this is because that this can help to emphasize that this is the most valuable stage. Only in this stage that customers are actually generating revenue. Okay, above are the two ways of creating a funnel chart. Sometimes your table are appear together, sometimes they are separately and the customers are unique. Either way, you can learn something from this video. I've also attached the link of the Excel template in the description. Feel free to grab your template and practice on your own.